It was early in the morning, and you sat on your bed with a small smile, holding a light blue shirt with black buttons in your hands. The fabric felt soft against your fingers, and your eyes shone with excitement as you admired it. Jungkook, I don't know how you will react. You murmured softly, brushing your fingers over the shirt's buttons, but I'm sure you'll look even more handsome in this. A giggle escaped your lips as you imagined him wearing the shirt, his usual confident smile lighting up his face. The thought made your heart race, unable to contain your feelings. You hugged the shirt tightly against your chest. It smelled faintly of the store, a mix of new cotton and faint cologne. Wine, are you there? A loud voice interrupted your daydream. Your younger sister, Erin, was calling out to you as her footsteps approached your room. Panicking, you quickly stuffed the shirt into your school bag, trying to hide it before she saw. The door creaked open, and Erin stepped inside, her curious eyes immediately scanning the room. What are you doing? You look so suspicious. Are you hiding something? She asked, narrowing her eyes. You stood awkwardly in front of your bag, clutching it protectively. What would I be hiding? I don't have anything to hide. You replied dramatically, overdoing it in an attempt to sound casual. Erin's eyes lit up with mischief. Oh, no, I can smell it. There's definitely something in that bag. She teased, pretending to sniff the air like a detective. You grip on the bag tightened. Erin, stop this nonsense. It's nothing, really. But your sister wasn't buying it. She darted forward, grabbing one side of the bag as it clung to the other. Let me see, she demanded. No, Erin, leave it. You cried, tugging with all your might. The two of you engaged in a tug of war, but Erin was determined. With one final arm, she wrestled the bag from your grasp and triumphantly pulled out the shirt. Her eyes widened as she held it up. So, you broke your piggy bank to buy a shirt for your crush? She accused, her mouth falling open in mock disbelief. And here I was asking you to buy me a cute bag, but you told me you had no money. Unbelievable. You groaned, smacking your forehead. Erin, I'm sorry. Please just let it go this time. I promise I'll buy you a bag next time. But Erin smirked, clearly enjoying your embarrassment. Let's see. Should I forgive you or should I tell mom? Mom! She called out loudly, pretending to head toward the door. You lunged forward, clamping your hand over her mouth. Okay, I'm begging you. Please don't tell mom. You pleaded desperately. She wriggled free, her smirk growing wider. Fine, I'll keep quiet, but only if you do something for me. You sighed already, dreading what she was about to say. What do you want now? Deliver this letter to Jimin for me, she said, holding out a neatly folded pink envelope. You know the junior in your school? Your jaw dropped. No, wait, I'm not delivering a love letter for you. Erin raised her eyebrows, her voice sing-songy. Mom, you threw your hands up in surrender. Alright, fine, I'll do it. Just stop yelling. Her grin was triumphant as she handed you the letter. Good, you're a nice girl, Wine. And by the way, this shirt is gorgeous. My future brother-in-law is going to look amazing in it. Her teasing words made your cheeks flush, but you quickly turned away, grabbing your bag. Okay, enough. Give me the bag. I'm getting late, you muttered. As you walked out of the room, Erin called after you. Don't forget Jimin's letter. I won't, you replied, rolling your eyes but smiling softly. Erin's playful antics could be annoying, but deep down you knew she loved you. Even if she embarrassed you every chance she got, her cheerful energy always brightened your day. With the shirt safely tucked in your bag and Erin's letter in hand, you headed out, ready to face whatever the day had in store, even if it involved a certain handsome boy and his charming smile. At school, you stood in front of your locker, pulling out the books you needed for your next class. You were lost in thought, a small smile playing on your lips as you imagined Jungkook's reaction to the shirt. Are you blushing? Mina's voice broke. Your reward. She stood by her locker, peeking at you with a non grin. You shook your head quickly, trying to hide your embarrassment. No, I'm not. She slammed her locker shut and walked over to you. Aren't you happy that today is Jungkook's birthday? She asked, wiggling her eyebrows. You closed your locker and tried to act nonchalant. As I'm happy about it, Mina. Her grin widened. Don't tell me you are proposing to him today. You hesitated, feeling your cheeks warm. Kind of. You admitted shyly. Mina gasped, dramatically drawing attention from the nearby students. Oh my god, Ryan! Panicked, you quickly covered her mouth. Shh, keep quiet. Mina nodded, her eyes wide with excitement. Sorry, but are you really going to propose to him? I don't know, Mina. I just. You trailed off as the commotion in the hallway caught your attention. Happy birthday, Jungkook! Students cheered. Happy birthday, Heartbreak! Your heart skipped a beat as you saw him walking down the hallway, his tall figure commanding attention. Jungkook, the school's heartthrob, undeniably the most handsome guy, was surrounded by admirers, but as usual, he only walked with one person, his girl best friend. Your palms felt sweaty as he approached. Your heart pounded in your chest, and you swallowed nervously. He glanced at you briefly, his face expressionless. Gathering your courage, you smiled slightly and stepped forward. But before you could say a word, his girl best friend linked her arm with his and pulled him away. You froze, your hand still mid-air. She turned back as they passed you and smirked, her expression full of charm. You glared at her disappearing figure, muttering under your breath. Freaking girl. Mina, standing beside you, crossed her arms and hugged. She's so proud of herself. What a waste piece. You sighed. Leave it. Let's just go to class. We are getting late. Rubbing your books, you and Mina hurried down the hallway, your mind still lingering on the brief encounter. You tried to shake off the disappointment, determined to focus on the rest of the day. You slowly entered the classroom, trying your best to appear calm even though your heart was racing. Tugging your hair back behind your ears, you stole a quick glance at Jungkook from the corner of your eye. His gaze was already fixed on you, intense. It was unusual. Jungkook never looked at any girl, not even by accident. Yet here he was watching you like you were the only person in the room. Your cheeks warmed under his stare, but you forced yourself to stay composed. Taking a deep breath, you walked to your desk in the middle row and sat down quietly. Mina, who was already beside you, leaned closer and whispered in your ear, her tone filled with excitement. Yeah, Jungkook is looking at you. I saw it. Stay calm, you whispered back, trying to sound nonchalant even though your voice wavered slightly. You didn't dare to look back again just yet, focusing instead on arranging your books on your desk, but the weight of Jungkook's gaze lingered, making it hard to concentrate. Curiosity got the better of you, and you slowly turned your head, pretending to adjust something on your desk. Your eyes flickered toward the last row where Jungkook was sitting. Sure enough, he was still looking at you. The moment your eyes met his, a jolt of electricity shot through you, and you quickly turned back, flustered. Mina nudged you playfully. He's seriously staring at you? What did you do to him, Ryan? Nothing. Stop it, you hissed, trying to suppress the smile creeping onto your face, but before you could say more, a voice interrupted the moment. Jungkook, can you help me solve this equation? It was Mia, his so-called girl best friend. She placed her hand on his shoulder, leaning in closer than necessary. Her voice was sweet, but there was an edge to it, a deliberate attempt to draw his attention. Jungkook didn't respond. His focus was still on you, completely unaware of Mia's question. Her expression soared as she noticed his distraction. Irritated, she patted his shoulder harder this time, breaking his trance. Jungkook, she said sharply. Startled, Jungkook blinked and cleared his throat. What, Mia? She raised an eyebrow, crossing her arms. I think your focus is elsewhere. Jungkook shifted uncomfortably, rubbing the back of his neck. No, I was just thinking about something. He avoided her suspicious gaze and quickly added, Okay, you want me to solve this equation? Mia handed him her notebook, but her eyes darted toward you. There was a smirk on her lips, as if she was trying to remind you of her closeness to Jungkook. You met her gaze with a glare before turning back to face the boat, determined not to let her get under your skin. The class continued, but your mind wandered. Despite your best efforts to ignore him, you could feel Jungkook's eyes on you every now and then. Each time the teacher turned to write on the board, Jungkook seized the opportunity to glance your way. His subtle but consistent attention sent your heart into a frenzy. Jungkook, can you help me with this too? Mia asked again, having another notebook in front of him. Her tone was slightly forced, and her movements were sharper than usual. Jungkook glanced at the notebook briefly before nodding. Yeah, sure. He picked up his pen and started writing, but his focus was clearly divided. Every few seconds, his eyes darted back to you. Mia's grip tightened on her pen as jealousy bubbled inside her. She couldn't understand why Jungkook, who had always been indifferent to other girls, was suddenly so interested in you. She leaned closer to him, trying to draw his attention back, but it was futile. You, meanwhile, were determined not to look at him again, keeping your eyes glued to the board. You tried to immerse yourself in the lesson, but the occasional whispers from Mina and the silent tension from the back of the classroom made it impossible to concentrate. Ryan, Nina whispered, nudging you. I think Mia is trying too hard. Look at her, she's so obvious. You sighed, shaking your head. Let her do whatever she wants. I don't care. But deep down, you couldn't ignore the flicker of irritation. Mia's attempts to monopolize Jungkook's attention were becoming increasingly blatant. Still, you refused to let her actions ruin your mood. Jungkook's lingering gaze had already told you more than enough. As the class continued, Jungkook stole one last glance at you. A small smile played on his lips, almost as if he was amused by your efforts to avoid looking at him. But he didn't mind because for the first time he couldn't take his eyes off someone, and that someone was you. As the evening classes ended, you clutched the bag that held the shirt you bought for Jungkook. You had planned the entire day waiting for the perfect moment to give him the gift, but Mia, his overly possessive best friend, didn't leave his side for a second. You sighed deeply, feeling defeated as you walked toward the school gate. Mina, your best friend walked beside you, nudging your shoulder. Wine, look over there, she whispered, pointing toward the garden near the path. You followed her gaze and spotted Jungkook sitting on a bench with Mia, who was laughing a little too loudly at something he said. The sight made your stomach churn and you clenched your fists. Mia grinned mischievously. Don't you want to wish him and give him the gift? He's right there. You shook your head, muttering under your breath, Of course I do, but Mia will never let me. That freaking best friend of his is like a hawk, always watching him. Don't worry, I have got this. I'll distract her. You go and talk to him. You hesitated. Mina, I don't know. What if he doesn't like it? What if he just ignores me? Mina placed a reassuring hand on your shoulder. Ryan, you have been crushing on him for so long. If you don't take this chance now, you might regret it forever. Trust me. You gave her a small, grateful smile. Mina was the only person you would ever confide in about your feelings for Jungkook. She would supported you unconditionally, even teasing you about how much you blushed whenever his name was mentioned. Fine, you said nervously. But don't let her come back too soon, okay? Mina winked. Leave it to me. As he watched from a distance, Mina walked toward the Mia, holding a juice bottle. Pretending to trip, she slipped the juice all over Mia's cut. What the hell? She squeezed, standing up abruptly. Are you blind or something? Mina gasped, bowing her head in fake apology. I'm so sorry, it was an accident. I didn't see you there. Mia glared at her, about to unleash a string of insults, but Jungkook intervened. Mia, calm down. Just go and change your clothes. There is no point in making a scene. Mia huffed, shooting Mina a deadly glare before stomping toward the bathroom. Mina turned to Jungkook and smiled sweetly. Thanks for stepping in, Jungkook. Some people just can't handle a little accident. She softly gave you a thumbs up from behind his back. You took a deep breath, your heart pounding as you approached Jungkook. He looked up at you, his expression unreadable. Jungkook, you started, your voice barely above a whisper. Can I talk to you for a second? He tilted his head slightly, his gaze piercing but respectful. What is it? You fumbled with the bag, pulling out the neatly wrapped shirt. Your hands trembled as you extended it toward him. This is for you. It's your birthday today, right? Happy birthday, Jungkook. For a moment he didn't move, just staring at you and the gift. The silence felt like an eternity. Finally he reached out, taking the shirt from your hands. Thank you, he said simply, his voice calm but devoid of any emotion. You swallowed hard, your throat dry. I hope you like it, it's your favorite color. Jungkook glanced at the shirt briefly before looking back at you. Is there anything else? You opened your mouth to speak, but the words refused to come out. Your courage faltered, and you shook your head quickly. No, no, that's all, you stammered. Without waiting for his response, you turned and ran, your heart racing. As you reached the school gate, you glanced back one last time. Jungkook was still standing there, watching you leave. When you disappeared from his side, he looked down at the shirt in his hands. A small, almost imperceptible smile tugged at the corner of his lips. For the first time, the students nearby saw Jungkook express something other than his usual stoic demeanor. Jungkook, what's that? Her voice snapped him out of his thoughts. Quickly, he folded the shirt and stuffed it into his bag. Nothing, he said curtly, brushing past her. Mia narrowed her eyes, watching him walk away. That shirt is from mine, she thought bitterly. Why is he hiding it from me? That night back at home, your sister Erin sat beside you as you stared at your desk, deep in thought. So you gave it to him, she asked, resting her chin on her palm. You nodded slowly. Yeah, I did. And what did he say? Nothing much. He just took it and thanked me. He didn't show any reaction. I don't even know if he liked it. You said, your voice tense with disappointment. Erin patted your head affectionately. Don't overthink it. Jungkook's not type to show his feelings easily, but trust me, he will love it. Who wouldn't? My sister is pure gold. She leaned in and kissed your cheek, making you smile slightly. Let's see. The next morning, it was a no uniform day at school. You dressed carefully, hoping to catch a glimpse of Jungkook wearing the shirt you had gifted him. Your heart raced as you stood near your locker, waiting for him to arrive. Minutes later, Jungkook walked into the building, his presence commanding as always. You smiled instinctively, your eyes lighting up until they landed on Mia. She was wearing your shirt. Your heart sank, the smile disappearing from your face. Your hands clenched at your sides as a wave of disappointment washed over you. Why would he give it to her? You muttered under your breath, fighting back the sting of tears. Mina, who had just arrived, noticed your expression. Why and what's wrong? You shook your head, forcing a weak smile. It's nothing. I need some air. Before Mina could say anything, you turned and walked away. Your steps were quick and unsteady. Jungkook, standing by his locker, noticed you leaving. His brows furrowed slightly as he watched your retreating figure. Jungkook, what's wrong? She asked, noticing his distracted state. Nothing, he replied shortly, losing his locker. Mia smirked, twirling a strand of her hair. Wine you might like Jungkook, but he will never choose you over me. Unbeknownst to her, Jungkook's gaze lingered on the hallway where you had disappeared, a faint trace of regret in his eyes. The day began with a heavy heart as you silently sat at your desk. Jungkook entered the classroom, his sharp eyes scanning the room until they landed on you. But to his surprise, you didn't look up like you usually did. He frowned, confused, and made his way to his desk. He kept glancing in your direction, hoping to catch your eye. Mia, on the other hand, walked by your desk deliberately, wearing the shirt you had gifted Jungkook. She smirked smugly. Mina leaned toward you and whispered, I didn't expect him to give it to her. I'm so sorry, Van. You shook your head. It's okay, Mina. I should have known better. In the back of the classroom, Jungkook was restless. I didn't understand why you weren't paying attention to him. That annoyed him, but more than that, it left him feeling uneasy. Why isn't she looking at me? He muttered under his breath. Mia noticed his irritation and smiled to herself. Poor one, she doesn't know I'm keeping Jungkook away from her, she thought as she sneakily glanced at her phone. The classes dragged on, and Jungkook couldn't focus on the lecture. During lunch break, he saw you heading toward the cafeteria. Ryan, he called out, walking quickly in your direction. You heard him but deliberately turned into another hallway, pretending not to notice. His frustration grew as he stood there watching you walk away without a glance. That evening, Jungkook waited near the school gate. When you approached, he stepped in front of you. Ryan, wait, he said firmly. You stopped, surprised, but didn't look at him. What is it? You asked in a quiet voice. I want to talk to you, he said, his voice usually. I'm sorry, I have to go home early, you replied, your tone detached. Without waiting for his response, you walked away, leaving him stunned. Jungkook stared after you, completely at a loss. Why is she acting like this? Did I do something wrong? He wondered. That night back home, you sat on your bed, feeling the weight of disappointment and heartbreak. Erin entered your room, a curious look on her face. So, did he wear the shirt? She asked eagerly. Tears welled up in your eyes, and you shook your head. He gave it to Mia, you said. Erin's face fell. She wrapped her arm around you. Oh, why? It's okay. As much as we have the right to love someone, they have the right to reject us too. Maybe he's just not the one for you. Her comforting words made you cry harder, but I thought he would appreciate it. I thought he would. I know, Erin said, hugging you tightly, but you're strong. You will move on. And if he doesn't like you, then he's missing out on something amazing. She kissed your forehead and left you alone to process your emotions. You cried for what felt like hours, then made a decision. It's time to let go and move on, you thought. The next day, you ignored Jungkook completely. No smiles, no glances, nothing. This continued for a week, and it was driving him insane. He was feeling suffocated with your ignorance. One day school was over, and you were walking in the hallway to go out of the school building when someone grabbed your wrist and pulled you into an empty classroom. Let me go, you yelled, but a hand covered your mouth. Your eyes widened when you realized it was Jungkook. It's me, he said, his voice low and calm. You relaxed slightly and he removed his hand. What are you doing? You demanded. I want to talk to you, he said firmly. I don't have time. I need to. You tried to leave, but he stepped in front of you, blocking your way. I'm not letting you go this time, he said, his voice steady, but his eyes filled with something you couldn't quite read. He placed his hands on either side of the wall, trapping your heart raised as he leaned closer, his face just inches from yours. Why are you ignoring me? He asked, his tone serious. I'm not ignoring you. You lied, avoiding his gaze. As you're not looking at me, not smiling, not paying attention to me at all. Why? How do you even know that? You asked, startled. Because I have noticed you. I have always noticed you. I know you always pay attention to me, and I know you have feelings for me. His words left you speechless. If you know that, you said after a pause, then why did you give this shirt? I gifted you to someone else. Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think my feelings are a joke? Jungkook's eyes widened. No, it's not like that at all, he said vaguely. Mia needed something to wear because she got mud on her shirt. I didn't have anything else with me, so I gave her the shirt, that's all. I swear. Yes, it was Mia's plans to get that shirt. She wantedly threw stone on a mud puddle and made the mud fall on her shirt, as she knew Jungkook would help any girl if she is in a problem. You stared at him, your emotions swirling. I thought you didn't like it. I thought you didn't care. I care, he said softly. I care so much, man. I love you. Your breath caught in your throat. I love you, he repeated, his voice filled with sincerity. I have loved you since the first year of school. I just never had the courage to tell you, but when you started ignoring me, I realized how much I need you. You are my oxygen wine. I can't breathe without you. Tears welled up in your eyes as you listened to his confession. But Mia, I thought you liked her. Jungkook chuckled softly. Mia, no. She's just a friend, nothing more. I have never seen her that way, and I never will. You hesitated. Really? He smiled and leaned in, pressing a soft, lingering kiss to her lips. Does that answer your question? You blinked in surprise, your cheeks blushing. I, I love you too, Jungkook, you admitted, tears streaming down your face. I thought I would lost you. Never, he said, pulling you into his arms. I'm yours, mine, forever. You smiled, hugging him. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. You felt guilty. It's okay, it's normal human reaction. Forget about it. He said, kissing your forehead with all the love and care. Outside the room, Mia stood frozen, having overheard everything, her face twisted in anger and jealousy as she stormed away. This isn't over, Vine. I will snatch him, she thought bitterly. But she didn't know no one can separate him from you because he's truly in love with you and can never stop thinking about you for a second. Thank you for watching.